First off, thank you so much for taking time to really do some self-care. I think when it comes to us, we tend to put our needs on the back burner, and especially during these last few months, I'm sure your eating habits have definitely taken a backseat or maybe got derailed a little bit. So tonight, host disabled screen sharing. Okay, you have to, Jess, I can't share my screen. Still not letting me. Hold on. Beauty of technology. I don't know why I can't do it. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. You guys see my screen, right? Yeah. All right. Move you all up here. Scoot you down. Okay. All right. So, what I want to, actually, I like to see screens, so I'm going to have you all to the side. There we go. Okay. So tonight's program is about going over some guidelines that I think are really important for you to live your best version and to really live a healthy life. So first, before I kind of jump into the guidelines, I want you to kind of pause for a second and think about where you are right now in your health journey and assess really what's working and what's not working for you, because some of you may be great with your exercise, right? Some of you may drink a lot of water. Some of you may be getting great sleep. And really, you know, you just have to kind of really reshift your focus and look better at your eating habits. Or maybe this time home has created all these new emotions of feelings around eating, and it's really throwing you for a curveball when it comes to your cravings and just, you know, how you're eating every single day. So think about all those things, okay? Because that's really what encompasses healthy eating, okay? It's not just necessarily one particular thing. And how I like to view it is that, you know, over these 20 years as being a nutritionist, I've learned a lot of different tips and tools from my toolbox that I share with people. So it's not a cookie cutter approach. Eating and, you know, living your best life is really something that is personalized to you. But there are a few things that I think are so important for people to understand. And that is, you know, why diets don't work and really the truth behind fad diets. I'm sure everybody on this call has tried something, whether it's, you know, maybe you're doing intermittent fasting right now, maybe you're on paleo, maybe you're keto, maybe, you know, you grew up with the fat-free trend or low carb, whatever it is, we all have done something and have rebounded, or we all have done something and our cravings have gone through the roof. And why is that? You know, it's not that you can't follow the plan, it's that the plan didn't serve your body and your needs. And so what I hope you get out of tonight's message is really tuning into you and tuning into what you need and learning some science behind why we eat certain things and why certain cravings are happening. Okay. So in general, I think diets lead to a compromised immune system, mainly because when we go on diets, we are usually eating way below our calorie level, and we usually are restricting whole food groups, right? And whenever we restrict a food group is when we actually start to see nutritional deficiencies happen. And long-term deficiencies lead to compromised immune systems. We want to do the complete opposite right now. We're trying to support our immune system as best as we can. And how you do that is by eating a variety of foods that have tons of different color every single day. It's not about boosting and taking high doses of elderberry or vitamin C or magnesium or zinc, okay? That actually throws your whole immune system out of balance. What we want to do is find a way that you can stick to a healthy eating plan to help support your immune system. So again, this isn't just about, you know, a weight loss program or a detox program. This is long-term health. So one thing that does happen, and many of you maybe have noticed that, is that diets do lead to weight gain. And I'm going to share with you why. Mainly because it does affect your metabolism, but it also does affect some neurotransmitters in your body. I truly believe that it's not about, you know, how you look. I know a lot of people that are super fit and people would look at them and think they can't be healthy just by the way they visually look. So it involves eating well, it involves working out, it involves sleep, the hydration that I talked about, and, you know, decreasing your stress. So the diet cycle can be broken, but it has to be broken down one step at a time, not the all or nothing that most of us try and do and set ourselves up for failure. So this is one of my favorite quotes. You know, I've used it for 20 years and I love it because it says you'll lose weight on any strict diet, but it's mostly water from crying. And that's the truth, right? Like how frustrating is for all of us when, you know, we try and eat well, or when you try to follow this crazy diet and you do lose weight, but then it comes right back on. And, you know, I said this today on my live video, if anybody heard it, was that I don't use a scale. We don't own a scale in our house because it's a mind game and it sets you up for this emotional eating behavior, right? You get on a scale, if the number isn't what you think it should be, then your emotions go through the roof and you start this whole vicious cycle all over again. So instead, use other ways to identify how you're feeling. You know, everybody has a pair of pants, everybody has a dress, everybody has something that they can say, when I was wearing this, I was eating well, I was exercising, I was taking care of me, right? That's what we want to use. And you also want to know, what's your digestion like? Are you going to the bathroom every day? So again, you know, it's so many components when it comes to eating. Some of us are out of control because we're following a strict diet, but then we also have this emotional piece. And I think this is a big piece that people are not paying enough attention to right now in particular. And so there's a difference between cravings and emotional eating. And you probably read this as I was speaking, that, you know, cravings are a powerful desire for a very specific food. They come and go. Typically, they're caused by a nutritional deficiency because you've been restricting in some other area. It might be because of a habit. You come home from work, you pour yourself a glass of wine. You've done it for 30 years. That's just the way that you end your day, you know, or every time you get bad news, you go right to chocolate ice cream. You know, whatever that is, it's a habitual thing, and that's a craving. Behavior, like I said, environmental, or mood. Okay. So again, identifying, are you craving? Are you emotional? Emotional eating is when you eat specifically due to your emotions and feelings rather than hunger. You're out of control when this happens. No matter how much food you get in your body, you still can't seem to satiate, you know, that emotion that you're trying to fill. You know, think of where you are right now with your emotions. And what I want you to think about is, you know, are you consciously indulging, right? Or are you feeling some type of emotional need versus a physiological need, right? Because it's okay to mindfully enjoy something on occasion. Everybody on this call, I feel like I know, and you all know that, you know, my whole rule is not a rule, but my life is around an 80-20 lifestyle. 80% of the time, I am very religious about how I take care of my body. And then 20% of the time is for fun, you know, and 20% of the time are for those celebrations. And 20% of the time is, you know, for those indulgences. But if you never incorporate those in, you're going to constantly set yourself up for this cycle. And the other thing is paying attention to that physiological need to hunger or the psychological need. Okay. There's a great exercise that I want you to do tonight or some other time, and you just get a Hershey Kiss and you put it on your close to your mouth. You smell it, you kind of visualize how it tastes, and then you put it in your mouth and see what happens. You know, if you immediately start chewing up that Hershey Kiss, you are somebody that eats emotional, right? But if you are somebody that loves conscious indulgences, you're going to let that melt on your tongue. You're going to savor it. You're going to enjoy it, right? But most of us, when we get that treat in our hand, or when we eat something that is not within, you know, our strict eating pattern, we overeat it. So we have to learn how to incorporate those foods in every single day to help break that diet cycle. And this program that I'm going to share with you tonight allows you to do that, okay? Because these are just guidelines. These are not rules that you have to follow. So this is what the vicious diet cycle looks like. People go on a diet. I really can't stand that word because as soon as I hear it, I think about like, oh my gosh, like what am I never going to be able to eat again? Or they decrease their calories so much. And, you know, the truth is that we are not an overweight society right now. We are not dealing with chronic disease because we're overeating calories. We are overeating processed food. And the more processed food that we get in our body, the more toxins. Okay. And so that is, people think they need to follow a 1,200 calorie diet, a 1,500 calorie diet. If that was the case, then we would not have obesity in this country. Okay. So a calorie meal plan is not the focus that you should be thinking about. This program is not going to have 1 calorie associated with it. You're going to eat for fulfillment. You're going to learn how to be an intuitive eater. You're going to learn how to walk away from your plate. You're going to learn what it feels like to actually be physically hungry. Okay. Sometimes we eat because of just the clock, the time of day. Or we eat because we are, reducing our calories so much. So we have this famine response. And what happens when we are like that? Our metabolism goes down, right? We lose weight from lean muscle, and we actually increase fat storage. Because as we are dieting on these crazy diets, we're not actually nourishing our body. We're not actually getting those toxins and preservatives out of our body that keeps us coming back for those cravings. So we fall off the wagon, right? And then we have this feast response. But when we have this feast response, our metabolism is already lower, right? We already have less muscle. So, we're going to be able to regain the weight. And since we haven't gotten the impurities out of our body, those fat cells are just sitting there waiting for you to eat that food again and just, get back to whatever it was before you started on that diet. So this is that vicious diet cycle. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So why can't you break this cycle? Well, I already shared with you, it could be emotional, right? That could be a piece of it. It could be the fact that maybe you're a calorie counter. But have you ever thought about the environmental impact that can play into your eating? Have you ever thought about toxins that maybe are in the food supply that you never even thought about? Maybe you're eating too much processed food. All of those things are going to shift your body's ability to release toxins and to release impurities. And in today's world, we have such a higher rate of environmental toxins than we ever have before. The amount of, combustion in the air, the amount of chemicals that we get on our lawn, if you have a pool, if you get dry cleaning done every day, if you get your nails done, certain skincare products, shampoos, laundry detergents, all of those have maybe some dyes in it, right? Or things that are seeping into your body that are actually disrupting your normal process. And until we can eat something that helps reduce that and get that out of our body, those toxins are going to hang around for a lot longer than you think. We also know that our food quality is decreasing. Okay. This is huge. And many of you I can see on this call probably 20 years ago didn't know anybody that had children with food allergies, right? Or maybe you didn't grow up with anybody that has food allergies. Why is it now that we're seeing the rise of autoimmune disease? Why are we seeing kids with more eczema today? Why are we seeing more food allergies and intolerances to food? It's because the food quality has dramatically decreased. There are more preservatives, flavor enhancers, synthetic vitamins, genetically modified foods, getting into the food supply in our grocery store. So we have to take that into consideration when we're trying to change our health. And we think, by following, some diet program that maybe has, you're going to take this elixir or, this appetite suppressant or whatever it is, that's just putting more of those toxins in your body. So we want to be eating food that helps to detox our body naturally and really helps us get to where we want to be with our goal. Okay, so let's kind of go over what a diet program does to your body and what a true good nutritional cleansing program does to your body. So if you look at this person here, right, all these little dots are representing impurities or those toxins that I talked to you about. And the thing that you need to understand is that the more toxins and impurities you have in your body, the more fat your body is going to store for protective reasons. So our body is very creative when we put impurities and toxins in our body. It gets nervous, so it creates fat cells to protect our vital organs, right? So what do? Well, we think, oh my gosh, I have to lose weight. So I'm going to go on this crazy restrictive diet. I'm going to over-exercise, but I'm going to under-eat, right? And so we stress our body. Yes, we may lose some weight and we may burn some fat, but what happens is that the burning fat exposes the vital organs to toxins. So that's why you don't feel good when you go on those crazy, over exercising or dieting plans. The person here looks like they lost weight, but look, all the impurities are still in there. So what happens? They get frustrated. They can only do it for 30 days, 60 days, whatever it is, and they rebound, and they rebound worse because the body goes into a self-protective mode and can store fat and increase the retention a lot quicker. Okay. So what this program and what the guidelines I'm going to share with you tonight do is actually cleanse your body permanently. Okay. And how do we do that? Well, we start with the same person here. The stored fat is protecting the vital organs like we want. But instead, when we are cleansing our body with good whole food nutrients, right, we actually can release the toxins and allow our body to succeed with shedding fat and shedding all those toxins. Okay, so now you can see the impurities are gone. So what happens is say you have a little extra treat, say you're going on vacation, right? It's not going to set you up for that bunny trail again. You're not going to have all these crazy cravings that start to creep back up because those toxins and impurities have been released from your body. So the ability to maintain becomes a lot easier. Okay. So we have better overall health. We have less fat, more muscle, and no rebound. And this is the key. This is the key here. This is not about calories, you guys. This is really about getting out these excess toxins out of your body. So that's why I say to you, the information that you're going to hear tonight, this isn't short term. Okay. Some people really, like to do these guidelines, and jumpstart their health and, maybe stick very closely to it for 10 days or 30 days. But everybody transitions into a lifestyle change after it, because what happens is you start to identify foods that are not serving you. You start to identify the triggers around those cravings. You start to realize the importance of hydration in determining whether or not you're hungry or you're dehydrated. Okay. So it's a lifestyle change that we really want to partner with you, and we really want you to feel inspired to commit to. So what should you be eating? Well, look at this beautiful picture. You're going to eat real food. Okay. And as much as you can. I have never counseled anybody and said, oh my gosh, you're eating too many plants. We need to pull that back and you need to be eating more carbohydrates. No. Okay. The problem is that most of us don't have a balanced diet, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to crowd out our plates with fruits and vegetables. Think about how many servings you have eaten today. How many? Just real quick. Think about what you had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I hope everybody has had dinner already. But I mean, have you had 2? Have you had 3? 5? Most people right now are getting maybe 1 to 2. What about your children? Most of us need 7 to 13 servings a day. And that is truly because of the way our food is processed. That is not just some number that they came up with. They moved from 5 a day to 7 to 13 because of the quality of our food. Okay, so let's look at what a balanced, healthy plate looks like. And this is what I'm encouraging everybody to strive for. You're not going to be here right now. Okay. I'm not even here right now consistently every day, right? But this is the end goal. Look at all the colors. Look at the variety here. Nothing is restricted. Everything is on here. Fruits and vegetables comprise half your plate. We're going to focus on, in this lifestyle plan, to really shift away from those processed grains, okay? And we're going to focus more on brown rice, on quinoa, on amaranth, on the gluten-free grains. And that's not because gluten-free is a trend right now. That's because gluten-free or gluten has a lot of toxicity in it. And for some people, they have a really hard time digesting it, okay? And so maybe that's why you feel bloated all the time. Maybe that's why you have this brain fog, is because the complex carbohydrates you're eating are filled with preservatives. And I'll just give you a quick example. I went to Italy a few years ago, and I just started really taking gluten out of my diet, and I was feeling amazing. And I thought, how am I going to go to Italy and not do this? You know what happened? When I was over there, I ate all the bread, all the pasta, and I felt amazing because it was true to how nature made it. The grains were not processed. They were not loaded with other preservatives in it. And I felt amazing. Okay. We don't have that luxury here in the US. So if you think, that you'll never be able to shift away from gluten, we are going to share with you so many different recipes and options that you will never miss it again. Okay. And what's going to happen is that maybe you're going to start feeling a little bit lighter. Maybe your clarity is going to improve. Maybe your energy, your digestion. Okay. And then at the end of a few days or maybe 30 days, maybe you can sneak it back in and just see how you feel. Because some of us can have a little bit and be fine. And then some of us, the minute we let it back into our diet, you feel that bloat come right away. Okay. So the other part is we're going to have healthy fats. Think avocado, think nut butters, think hummus, think olive oils, coconut. Okay. These are the things that we're going to flood our body with. Healthy fats. We're also going to have some protein rich foods, eggs, fish, lean meats, beans, legumes, almonds, trying to really shift more towards those plant-based proteins and reducing the animal-based proteins, okay? One study that I recently read said that those people that eat a high animal protein diet have 10% higher risk for cancer, or 10 times risk for cancer, okay? So think about that. Try and eat things that are calming for your body, easy on your digestion. And we're also going to be adding in a couple different, things to help support you during this program that I'm going to share as well. So how do you think you're going to do this, right? Some of you might be thinking, I do not have the willpower to do this, right? That's why I fail at diets. That's why I'm an emotional eater, because I have no willpower. But guess what? I'm here to tell you that after 20 years of being a dietitian, it is not about willpower, okay? It's about how often you eat and how much you can maintain your blood glucose levels, okay? Or your blood sugar level. Many of us know what it feels like when we have not eaten, right? You can immediately feel the hangry-ness happen inside of you, right? So on this plan, we are going to help you stay in that zone of willpower. Everything that we're going to be sharing with you is going to help keep your blood sugar stable. You're going to be eating frequently. It's not about, fasting, more than 12 to 14 hours a day. All right. The longer you go out without food, the more those cravings come back. Okay. So we have to nourish our body pretty regularly throughout the day in order to allow certain hormonal function to happen. But what happens normally is that maybe we overate the night before. So then we restrict during the morning. And then we all of a sudden 3 or 4 o'clock hits and you are so hungry, you can't control anything. And that whole cycle starts again. Okay, so we have to find that zone of willpower because that's what's going to really set you up for success. All right, so here are the guidelines. We're going to go through them, and I'm not going to get into details of every single one tonight. What I really, really want to focus on is, adding in. Okay, so this is what we're adding in, as many plants as you can. There is no limit on the plant foods. Some of you I know are already on the Juice Plus capsules. If you are not on those capsules, I definitely think you should learn more about them because they are going to support you as you are releasing toxins out. I've been taking them for 8 years, and it truly has been the new foundation and the new normal for our family to start their day. Okay, and I'll share a little bit more about that as well. We also going to add in 1 to 2 complete shakes daily. And these are whole food based. So think about, you're going to take a scoop of plant-based protein. You're going to add in a handful of spinach, maybe a scoop of nut butter, and I don't know, a quarter of a banana. And that is going to be a smoothie for you a day. So that is definitely something we're going to add in because that's going to be a way to add in more plants into your body. Plenty of water. I'm going to share with you how much. We're going to really focus on relaxation, deep breathing, and also helping you to figure out why you're not sleeping. Okay. I'm going to share with you all this information around the hormones that are important to help regulate your eating. And they only work if you're getting enough sleep and exercise. Okay. Some of you may already love to exercise. Somebody, it might not be for you. We have an online fitness program that we're going to share with you. We're also going to be sharing workouts with you. We're going to give you tips to just move your body, at all levels, whether you're just getting off the couch moving or whether you are doing CrossFit 6 days a week, we will partner with you and show you how to enhance that. And we're also going to really encourage you to maybe reduce that exercise if you're somebody that is over exercising. That doesn't make sense, but I used to over exercise. Let's just put it that way. I don't know if it was the athlete in me. I just felt like I needed to work out for 60 minutes every day. And if I didn't, it didn't count, right? But guess what? That is not smart exercise, right? It is not the, how long and the duration, it's the quality of the workout. Science today and exercise physiologists have really helped us create programs that you can get an efficient workout in 12 minutes, 24 minutes, okay? So if you have that, if I can't work out for an hour, it doesn't count mentality, then we need to shift that, because if you're over exercising, you're actually putting a lot of extra stress in your body, and that could be the reason why you're not seeing the results that you want, okay? Because most of us that over exercise don't nourish enough, right? And then we break down the muscle that we need for energy. We are going to reduce or eliminate, okay? So don't get nervous here, just hang in with me. Caffeine and alcohol. Two things I'm going to say about this. If you are abusing these right now, I would definitely eliminate, okay? But if you have moderation already going on and you don't feel like this is one of the guidelines that really is, throwing your whole lifestyle off track, then just stick with that moderation. So what is moderation around caffeine? Well, I will tell you that's about 8 to 12 ounces a day. Okay. That's the health benefit of caffeine. But if you're somebody that's getting 24 ounces a day and you're going to caffeine all the time and not nourishing, you are messing up your adrenal glands, and your adrenal glands are so important with your metabolism. Okay. So we will be sharing with you how to reduce caffeine. And I'm going to encourage you to take the next few days before we start on June 1st to slowly start to reduce that. All right. Because we don't want you to have this amazing withdrawal headache. That would not be good. So we're going to really slow you down. We're going to share some great suggestions on how to do that. Same thing with alcohol. If you're somebody that has a glass of wine on occasion and, you can keep it under control and you don't feel like it's adding to your overall, let's just say derailment right now, then you're fine. But if you're somebody that, since this has all started and you're having a glass of wine every night or a drink or a beer, maybe it's time to reshift. Maybe it's time to eliminate that out of your eating plan, okay? Because we know that alcohol acts as fat in the body, and it's a toxin, okay? And that could be the one thing that is holding you back from achieving those health goals that you want. Eating after 6 o'clock. Notice the star there. So we're flexible with this one, okay? The goal is to create a 12-hour fasting period. So let's say 6 to 6 a.m., 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., or whatever 12 hours is. I can't even think about it right now. But typically 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. That's kind of a good window. I think that's 12 hours, right? So that's kind of a good, healthy window to allow your body to process the food out and to really, work through a healthy amount of food that you've eaten that day. It's good to have that fasting window, okay? But we have seen studies, or I've seen studies, that when you get to 16, 18 hours, it kind of sets you up for that dieting mentality, okay? Now, if you're somebody that has blood sugar issues, you're not going to fast more than 10 hours, okay? Also, if you're pregnant nursing, if you're an elite athlete, or if you work night shift, we will work with you and help you figure out what type of eating, fasting that you should be looking at. Obviously, processed foods, I don't think I need to go into that detail. Eliminate gluten and dairy and artificial and refined sugars. Okay, so these are huge. And again, this is not a trend. This is not a fad about getting rid of gluten and dairy. Current information shows us that these two food groups in particular cause a lot of inflammation in your body. And the more inflammation that you have in your body, the more issues are going to present itself. So I think of any of the itises, dermatitis, gastritis, arthritis, any of those are typically related to that inflammation. So gluten in particular, we have a hard time digesting, okay? And as we age, we actually lose digestive enzymes. So that's why maybe, 5 years ago, you might be like, well, I was fine with dairy and now I'm not. Or I used to be able to eat gluten and now I can't. Well, it could be the fact that those digestive enzymes have really started to reduce in your own body, or the processing in the gluten today and the dairy is really, really artificial. And it's not the same that it was when we were growing up. So we're going to share with you how to get rid of it. We're going to share awesome, ways to replace them, to the point where you might not even notice the difference. And we're not talking about gluten-free pretzels here. We are talking about good gluten-free, whole grains that are going to help keep that blood sugar stable. All right. So real quickly, I want to go over what Juice Plus is, because I know that there are some new people on here. So Juice Plus, the capsules and the smoothie mix that I shared tonight, is a way for you to get 45 whole plant foods into your body every single day. And it really is, think about, when I asked you, how many servings of fruits and vegetables did you get today? It's a way for you to fill in that nutritional gap. It's also a way for you to add in a lot more variety. Typically, when I go grocery shopping, I tend to pick the same produce. Now, as we get into the seasons, yes, different fruits are, becoming available. Or if you have a garden, you're getting that variety, but we're very limited in certain areas of this country of what we can get in. So the variety of this micronutrition is that foundation. And really, this is a foundation of the program, because as you're trying to create all these new behavior changes and help shed these toxins out of your body, we need to make sure that you've got the micronutrition in there to support you during this process. And also, we know that this is long term. Okay, this isn't something that you really are just doing for a month or so. What we have found and what I have found is that when my eating is not great, I feel really good knowing that I'm at least starting my day every single day with this, and that my kids are too. So just something to think about, and we can share more information with you as well. Something about our smoothies, and I know there are so many different smoothies out there right now. I truly was never somebody that loves smoothies, mainly because I didn't like taste, or they were always so processed, or there was a warning on it that you couldn't give it to a child or a pregnant woman. And so I just never really, got to taking into smoothies, but they have become a staple in our house. I feel like it's the new cereal. My kids have them before they go to sports. There's this in particular I love because it is vegan, it's gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it is plant-based, has prebiotics and tons of other micronutrients in it as well. And one thing is that I love the diversity of it. You can use it as a healthy breakfast, like I said, or, lunch, dinner, whatever, especially if your, life gets picked up and busier again and you're eating on the go a lot. But you can easily just take a scoop and use it as a pre or post-workout snack. Or one of my favorite ways is to make pudding out of it. And that's how I get like my sweet treat at night. So loaded with fiber, like I said, all plant proteins. So it's really, really great. And we have tons of recipes to share with you on how to use that. So let's kind of talk about the other kind of key components in this program and in the guidelines. So moving your body every single day. And like I said, it's that moderate exercise that you're looking for. It's okay to, maybe do a 1 or 2 HIIT classes a week, but we know that if you are overdoing it, that's when you start to see that compromise in your immune system. And that's when you just see that stress lingering in your body all the time. So find something that's fun, make it a healthy thing, not just about a weight thing, and really use it more today than any other time in your life as a mental health component. Just 10 minutes a day of moving your body can shift your mood. Getting outside, going for a walk, whatever it is, just getting that body moving. And once you start with 10 minutes, you're more likely to, stick with maybe 30 minutes. We're going to drink more water. Huge, huge guideline. Again, this is lifestyle. Okay. These are things that incorporate a healthy life. We are recommending, and I recommend this all the time, is to drink half your body weight in water every single day. Not only just for helping to, detoxify and remove waste out of your body, but it also does help with regulating your body temperature. It helps lubricate your joints and your organs. You're going to have more energy, and your skin is going to look amazing if you really, really increase your water intake. How does this impact weight? Well, there are numerous studies around drinking water before your meals, okay? And there was one study in particular that I was reading, and it said that took two groups, same information on nutrition was shared with both groups, and what they found is that the group that they said, we want you to drink 16 ounces of water 30 minutes before your meal. And that's the only thing we're telling you to do differently than this other group. Wouldn't you know, at the end of 12 weeks, the group that was hydrating lost almost 10 more pounds than the group that was not hydrated. Why is that? Well, in your brain, you have the hypothalamus, and your hypothalamus sends the same signal to your body, whether you're hungry or dehydrated, right? Think about it. It's the same symptom. You get tired, lethargic, you have no energy, you can't focus, right? That is hard to decide. So that's where you have to figure out, am I physically hungry right now, or am I emotionally hungry, right? Or am I thirsty, okay? So maybe tonight you focus on water for the next week and just see the shift that happens in your energy, your eating, your digestion. This is a huge life skill. And there are times where I won't even share with somebody anything around nutrition until I get them hydrated, because I need to make sure that that component is gone and that they know what it feels like to be hydrated versus hungry. Okay, so huge guideline to think about. Sleep. How does lack of sleep affect your health? Well, if you've had a child, you know what that feels like, right? Or if you've taken care of somebody and you're not getting good sleep, you know how you feel, right? You're hungrier, your exercise is not the same, you might get sick more often, you might gain weight, but long-term chronic sleep depression or suppression can lead to blood pressure issues, right? It can lead to type 2 diabetes and increasing your risk. So we have to take a look at how sleep plays into your eating plan. And sleep deprivation affects our bodies, specifically our hormones. So when we are not sleeping well, our cortisol levels are increased, which means our appetite is always on. It also means that ghrelin levels are increased, which is another hormone that signals an increase in appetite. Leptin is another hormone that's supposed to say, stop, you've had enough. Well, that one isn't working. And then your insulin is off and your thyroid levels all get off. So maybe what you need to focus in on right now is your sleep. Why are you not getting enough sleep? Are you on your phone till the minute your head hits the pillow? Are you rushing around doing all these last minute things before you get into bed? 2 hours before bed, you want to slowly start winding down your day, okay? Putting your phone on a different color mode. Better yet, don't even have it in your room. Dimming the lights, all these things. Not eating 2 hours before bed, okay? If you're eating up until you go to bed, your metabolism is working to burn off that food and to digest it. So sleep is a huge guideline that we're gonna follow. All right, how are we on time? Okay, so I am going to ask somebody who has done the shred, Jackie, if you would mind sharing your story with all of us real quickly, and I'll just stop sharing so we can see you. Where are you, Jackie?
On mute.
There you go.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was unmuting as you were unmuting me. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Jess. I always learn something new when you talk. So yeah, my health journey started about 6 years ago as I watched my father, his physical health decline because of heart disease. He was once an energetic, active person, but he had a history of heart attacks and bypass surgery, and all that finally took a toll on his body, and he was now in heart failure. So that really made me realize that I needed to be more proactive with my health and my family's health, so that we needed to be proactive now, so we weren't dealing with disease later in life. So I started exercising regularly, and I started reading about disease prevention. And when I was doing that research about disease prevention, the common thread was eat more fruits and vegetables. So we started eating healthier, started cooking at home more, and buying more fruits and vegetables. So then somebody introduced me to Juice Plus. And quite honestly, I didn't think that I needed it because we were eating better. But I definitely saw the value in my kids taking it because they were much more selective in what they ate. So I also then learned that we should be eating about 7 to 14 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. And I knew that I wasn't getting that in. And quite honestly, I'm still not getting that in. So we decided, my husband and I started on the capsules, and my kids started on the gummies. And I think it was about 2 or 3 months into taking the capsules, my friend who introduced me to Juice Plus told me about the Shred 10 program. And this program really intrigued me because I was suffering from eczema on my hands, on the palms of my hands. I had eczema, and they would get so dry and cracked that they would bleed. And my kids wouldn't even hold my hand because they felt so rough. So, you know, I was also doing research on eczema, and I was convinced that it was something in my diet that was causing it. And the Shred 10 program just sounded much simpler to me than the traditional elimination diets, you know, which take a lot of time and tracking of a number of different foods. So I went full force into the Shred program. What I love about the Shred program is that it made me more aware of ingredients in food. It also made me realize how food affects the way that I feel. I felt less bloated, I had more energy, and my eczema went away. So after 10 years of eczema flare-ups, steroid creams that would work for a couple weeks, then I'd have a reoccurrence, it finally went away. And my kids will now hold my hand.
Oh.
Usually. So, you know, at that point, I realized, you know, the capsules, in addition to the Shred guidelines, was something that we needed to keep doing. So, you know, I just feel like with Juice Plus, I just feel like we're being proactive with our health and disease prevention. And really, it's just given me peace of mind, you know, that my kids are getting the nutrients they need, even though they're still selective in their food choices. It's the peace of mind for me.
Oh, thanks, Jackie. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. I can resonate with you. My son had horrible eczema, and it
Mhm.
was, you know, when we started on this lifestyle journey with him, we were no longer dealing with that as well. So I really, really can
Yeah.
appreciate where you came from. So I just wanted to share some other of the results with people, because as you can see, you know, it really is about releasing these toxins out of your body. And some of you might be on this call tonight because you really are focused on, you know, how you look, or, you know, maybe, you know, the shape of your body right now. But this is the beauty of this program, is that it's so much more than this, and it's beyond what, you know, you just look like, right? And so other people that have done this program actually have shared that they start to crave more fruits and vegetables. Some of them that are trying to achieve a healthier weight, yes, they have been able to do that. Better recovery from workouts, improved sleep, increased energy, healthier hair, nails, skin, improved regularity. That is so huge. I mean, I think about how many people tell me that they are on Miralax or some type of, you know, GI stimulant, and it's like, okay, like there's something going on, we got to figure this out, right? And so when I get to help people feel their best because of just making a few suggestions in their eating, but laying in this foundation also, it really, really does give you that emotional, you know, excitement. So increased mental clarity, I can totally attest to that one as well. And, you know, one of the things that I want to really highlight is that this isn't just about Jackie's story or my story. You know, I've worked in this industry for 20 years. I've seen every social media post, the before and the afters, and I've heard countless testimonies about other, you know, programs. But the one thing that really is always, you know, captivating to me is that this program and these products are backed by 35 published clinical studies, like literally most research product in the world. And as somebody that works in healthcare field, ethically, I cannot recommend something that doesn't have science behind it. So I love the fact that, you know, I know why Jackie had that experience, because we have a study, you know, that shows you in the Skin and Pharmacology journal that it helps to reduce inflammation in your body, right? And then we have another study that talks about how it supports, you know, your microbiome, again, related to your skin. So you should feel really good knowing that this program is backed by science, not just about testimony, or let alone just me as a dietitian sharing this. This is backed by, you know, 25 years of good, solid clinical research. So if you are looking to jumpstart your journey, if you are looking for a shift in your lifestyle, maybe you're going to incorporate one or two of those guidelines tonight, right? Or maybe you're like, I need to get in and do all of this. I am tired of the way I feel. I need to get, maybe you want to get off medication. I don't know what it is, but there are a lot of different options that we can share with you. Obviously, you can start with the smoothies and the capsules. I would definitely say the capsules are the foundation out of all of this for sure. We're going to send you a guidebook that has step-by-step grocery shopping lists, recipe lists, and tons of nutrition education around how to read food labels, how to get the dairy out, what to use in place of that. We're also going to be sharing with you a lot of instructional videos to educate you, because a good, solid program has education behind it. Everybody on here, I could say, eat, how should you eat, right? And you all would tell me how you should eat, but do you know why? Do you know why you should be eating that way? You might not know. Learn so that you can identify what's working for you and what's not, and then you'll understand the science behind all of it. We're going to support you individually as well. And we're going to share a cookbook. And then the goal really is to take these guidelines and transition them into a long-term lifestyle. I will say that for some of us, when this program first came out, we did it for 10 days. And then some of us would stay on for 30 days. What I'm going to encourage you to do is that if this is the first time you're hearing this information, I want you to pick one or two things that really, really you need to work on the most, right? And maybe you should very, focus on that for 30 days. And then you add in another guideline. But if you're somebody is like, I need to do this all in, then follow these guidelines for a good 30 days, okay? And then at the end of the 30 days is when you trial out different things to see what is working and what is not. Because you might have an intolerance or you might not, and you might feel great, and it could be your new normal. Because really, you guys, living a healthy lifestyle is more than just about the food here as well, okay? It has the mental component to it. It has regular exercise, the positive thinking. And we are here to partner with you and share as many tips and strategies that we can to support you on this journey. So I want to thank you tonight for joining me. And I love this quote, your body's a finely tuned vehicle, give it good fuel and it will take you places. So if anybody has any questions, we can unmute the lines. I went way longer than I thought I would, but that is just how I am. Does anybody have any specific questions? No? All right. Well, if you do have any specific questions and you would rather, have a one-on-one